The Nuns Grace Hospital shut down a long time ago, going on 20 years now, and the reason for it was something you could only speculate from word of mouth. Story after story passed around like gossip. The Nuns Grace was a hospital that is pretty much in the middle of nowhere, but the treatment was quick and affordable, so it was always busy. The same usual people would come and go, but the nurses were always the same, and the doctors were circulated each week. One patient, though, was different, that most and weird, kind of way. Linda Kirby. She was dropped off by family members. Abandoned would be the more appropriate term. Linda was a really sick woman. Terminally, the kind of sickness that you don't come back from. After some tests, the doctors concluded she only had a few months to life, and even telling Linda all this, she couldn't understand. She'd just smile. Okay, my children are going to come get me now. And she'd turn her head toward the windows when laying on the bed. The doctors felt bad. Everything she'd say that same line. They kept her at Nuns Grace and did the best they could to make her comfortable in her last remaining days. 2 months, 1 month, them anyway now. Her time was close. Her dementia got worse as her sores began to break through her skin. The cancer in her lungs and stomach began to harden and calcify within her chest. Her skin began to yellow and slowly rot, giving off a heavy stench, which the nurses would try to avoid. Her eyes began to bleed to the point her eyeballs almost looked completely black. Her gaunt look started to look inhuman, as she was nearly skin and bones. No nurse or doctors would attend to her. Yes, she still played in her bed. They'll be here to pick me up soon, she'd say behind a wheezing voice. The 2 months went by, and another. Linda still didn't pass, which was unusual. Seemed like she still had life, or just simply refused to die. 5 months had passed, and Linda was rotten to her bed sheets. Flies and maggots began to form under her bed, and the staff would still avoid her. They'd feed her just by dropping her tray of food on her bed and run out, and she'd still tell them they'll be here soon, with a weak smile and blackened, sunken eyes. The smell had begun to seep into the vents of the wing where Linda stayed. Even with the door closed, you could still get the odor deep into your sinuses to the point of gagging. The smell got into everything, and there was nothing no one could do. Linda just wouldn't die. The second floor on the west wing had to be cleared because the stench of death was overpowering for the staff and patients. Linda was abandoned on that floor at the end of the hallway, left to starve and hopefully to finally die. After 6 months since that floor was boarded up, the benefactors who funded the Nuns Grace heard of what was going on and decided to close down the hospital. Patients were sent to the nearest resources in towns where they could get the treatment they needed. Everyone had left Linda alone in the entire building, alone with her sickness and dementia. The last person to walk the grounds before complete abandonment was an old staff member that was told to inspect to see if Linda was still alive. When nearing the bedroom where she was kept, he slowly cracked open a door and peeked to see the entire bedroom in a decrepit mess. Linda's feet exposed and looking like bones with skin still attached and moving. My children will be here soon to take me home. He heard her gaunt whisper as he hurried away from the west wing, placed a chain on the door, and left. That staff member reported that she was still there, still alive, and still waiting for her children to pick her up from a supposed appointment they left her at, is what she still thinks. That was over 20 years ago, and the people still say that Linda is still there, rumor has it, still looking outside her window with her head turned, refusing to die, telling herself they'll be here soon,